Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is February the 18th, 2023, and we are continuing our study on the unborn. Today we're going to be looking at pregnancies that are not carried to term. We're going to be looking at what happens to the children. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We only have a couple of scriptures. I watched some videos, but there weren't a lot of questions. So let's just see what the Bible has to say. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 2. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than the living which are yet alive. Yea, better is he than both they which have not yet been, who have not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. This is telling us that the better than the dead and the living, the better is that child that has not been born. That child doesn't have to see the evil work that's done under the sun, but he still goes to heaven. This is what it's telling you. We'll read it in the ESV version as well. And I thought the dead who are already dead more fortunate than the living who are still alive. But better than both is he who has not yet been, and has not seen the evil deeds that are done under the sun. It is an entity. It is a person who has not yet been, but they are an entity that has already been established. An incomplete term pregnancy is a child. The spirit has already been formed, but the body was not prepared. So the spirit returns to the Father. The entity still is, but it will not become a soul because the body, for whatever reason, did not complete the term. So, but better than both is he who has not yet been, and has not seen the evil deeds that are under the sun. That is speaking of the unborn child. Those children go to heaven. And there's another scripture that I believe says that all of them go to heaven. I know that there is, I didn't even really consider it even until just now. It just popped into my head. There's another scripture that says the children of, well, that's not, I was thinking of the scripture that said that the children of the saints go to heaven. And that's something that I'll have to look into separately, because I only focused on the unborn pregnancies for this. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our next scripture. That was the ESV version we read as well. Cursed be the man who brought tidings to my father, saying, a man-child is born unto thee, making him very glad. Because he slew me not from the womb, or that my mother might have been my grave, and her womb to be always great with me. Wherefore came I forth out of the womb, to see labor and sorrow, that my days should be consumed with shame. I highlighted the always great because this is what I believe supports the understanding that those spirits that return to God, those children become saints eventually, or they're raised up. The millennium, they're raised up in heaven. I'm not really sure which one. Well, I do believe it's heaven. You know what? Let me say this, because I never checked into it. I did a video on hell where I said that the second group of the second group of saints go up to heaven. And I based that on 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 14 to 16 or something like that, and the writings of Sister White. But the more I was thinking about that, I was thinking, I don't remember anything in Revelation where we come back down from heaven. So I can't say that heaven is actually in heaven until I do a little bit more research on it. Heaven may actually be on earth. Okay, we may not go anywhere. But you all understand what I'm saying when I say heaven. Those children are taken to heaven. In here, as well as the previous scripture, these both support it. Because he slew me not in the womb, or that my mother might have been my grave, and her womb be always great. We know that those children don't have feelings. They don't have a spirit. It's just a fleshly body. The body may have nerve endings that feel stuff, but there's no understanding that goes along with it. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is saying that there is going to be those children, the conscience is still living with God. Let's look at the ESV version. Cursed be the man that brought the news to my father. A son is born to you, making him very glad. Because he did not kill me in the womb, so my mother would have been my grave, and her womb forever great. Why did I come out from the womb to see toil and sorrow, and spend my days in shame? I don't think that the word great could have been used were it not trying to tell us that those children are going to heaven. I have a couple of more scriptures, not a lot, but a few. If a man beget 100 children and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he. Moreover, we'll read 4 too. For he cometh in with vanity, and departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness. Moreover, he has not seen the sun, nor known anything. This had more rest than the others. He's talking about the unborn there. Let's look at the ESV version. If a man fathers 100 children and lives many years, so that the days of his years are many, but his soul is not satisfied with life's good things, and he also has no burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. For it comes in vanity and goes in darkness, and in darkness its name is covered. Moreover, it has not seen the sun, nor known anything, yet it finds rest rather than he. So, you can come into this world, have 100 children, and so that's like a man thing, I think. 100 children. It lives many years, so that the days of his years are many. But if he's not satisfied with life's good things, if he's not happy, if he's not pleased, if he hasn't learned to follow God and be joyous, and he has no burial, I'm not sure, I have to think about that, son. He has no burial. If he doesn't fulfill his life, I think that's what he's trying to say. I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. Why? Because a stillborn child is going to come back and fulfill their lives without all of the hardships in life. If you can squeeze some joy out of this life, that's a great thing. But if not, better to be born in heaven. For it comes in vanity and goes in darkness. And in darkness its name is covered. Moreover, it has not seen the sun or known anything. This is the stillborn. It hasn't seen the sun. It doesn't know anything about the good or the bad. The good or the bad. Yet it finds rest. It'll find a better rest than him. Okay, he's saying if he lives his life and then he dies, is what he's saying. He says rest. The rest of the child that is stillborn is going to be better than the rest of this man. Even if he's not satisfied with his life. And it doesn't, even if he's a saint. Because if he wasn't a saint, I think he would have pointed it out more. So, but if he wasn't satisfied in this life, better to have been born a stillborn. So you kind of can read between the lines there and see that the stillborn is definitely going to go to heaven. If this man can live out 100 years, I mean, no, not 100 years, can have 100 children and live out his life, but it's not, even if he's not satisfied. So one of the questions when I was watching videos, one of the questions that I saw was, Was the mother going to know her child in heaven? Yes. Not only will she know her child, she'll know her child. She'll know everyone. Everyone will be known in heaven. And everything is, all of your senses are going to be heightened kind of in heaven. Sister White speaks of a long table where we're going to all be eating at and served at. And we're going to be able to hear people. We're going to be able to talk to people way down at the other end of the table, and they'll be able to hear us. But we will know each other's names. We'll know everyone, just instinctively. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. There's a lot of scriptures in the New Testament also that talks about the millennium, how we're going to know as well in the millennium. It basically, I actually mentioned it, that Sister White spoke about how we're going to know all of the deeds of, all of the deeds of the wicked that did not make it into heaven during the millennium. A lot of those scriptures that support that doctrine, that support that, are in the New Testament. And there's quite a few of them that say that we will know, there won't be any secrets during the time of the millennium. But this is different. This is, we will know, a mother will know her children, and she will know, actually you'll know everyone, and you'll know your children as well. I think this is the last scripture. It is. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. We'll start at 7. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces, as a snail which melteth. Let every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. So I use this verse because it says here, the wicked are estranged from the womb. This gave me, this I used as a support scripture to say that all prematurely born, or for whatever reason there was an early termination of the pregnancy, all of those children go to heaven, because it does not call the child wicked in the womb. The child in the womb has no personality. Okay? Just no personality. But they are estranged from the womb. He's saying as soon as they come out of the womb, they can be counted as wicked. Not before. Not before. And then, of course, it just talks about how he's speaking of the untimely birth of the woman. But before the womb, they are not wicked. Those children, all of them, all untimely births or truncated births. I don't know what the word, I don't really know what the word is. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm really not. I'm trying to be as neutral as I can be, but to be honest at the same time. I don't really know what word to use. Incomplete pregnancies. Incomplete pregnancies. There we go. All of those children go to heaven. So that was my last scripture. And so I will close out at that. And I will talk to you in the next video.